Everyone, it's your favorite immigrant, Marijo. I have another reading today from Cappy. This guy wrote us in, and this is going to be kind of short because it's one of those topics that I could go on about forever and it just really triggers me, so I'll try to keep it short and to the point. So here it goes. It says, the request, Dear Cappy, please get the cute Mexican chick to read this to the lads. Hopefully ICE hasn't deported her yet. That was actually pretty funny. Gather round, lads, and learn something. Back in my day, we talked about the safety blanket, as in she's using him like a safety blanket. I now prefer the term lifeboating because that allows us to talk about lifeboat drills. So I'll tell a story. Bill and Karen are dating. Bill is a really nice guy who's moving up in the IT world with a bright future. So far, whenever Kristen and Bill go out, they have a fun time. Then one day, Kristen is very cold to Bill. Why is Kirsten... Oh, it's Kirsten. Sorry, not Kristen. Why is Kirsten acting this way, you might ask? Well, the night before, a man named Chad had her by the hair and was slapping her on the butt, which Kirsten liked. But see, Kirsten is actually a disloyal whore. This is true. Now Kirsten doesn't want to even think about this, nor does she want Bill to find out, and especially her friends. So she falls back on the female communication strategy called hinting. She is hinting to Bill that she wants to fight and break up. That is why she is cold. Eventually, she gets her argument, and a disoriented Bill finds himself agreeing that they need some time apart. He's hopeful, however, since they agree to remain friends and to keep in touch. Bill is now her lifeboat. Kirsten enjoys an evening with her friends at Cheesecake Shop, having a good cry about the breakup, which she blames on Bill. A week later, she announces to her friends that she has met a new boyfriend named Chad. Bill, by this time, is drinking heavily. A month later, Kirsten conducts her first lifeboat drill. She calls Bill or messages him on social media. Kirsten is doing this to find out if any other women are sniffing around. Luckily for her, Bill is wallowing around in self-pity, so Kirsten's lifeboat is still there. 2 months later, Kirsten starts getting suspicious that Chad is running around on her with other women. Of course. She now conducts a serious lifeboat drill. She allows Bill to take her out for some coffee, which he pays for. At their date, Kirsten has tears in her eyes and talks about how this might have been a mistake and how she misses Bill. She says she just needs a little more time to figure things out. Bill pledges his loyalty to her and says she's worth the wait. Lads, let's pause a moment while Cappy cleans up his vomit. I think all of us are cleaning up our vomit at this point. A few weeks later, Kirsten ends it with Chad and Bill joyously takes her back. They end up married with 2 kids. 5 years after the marriage, they get divorced when Bill finds out about the guy she is screwing at her Disadvantaged Youth Foundation, where she is assistant deputy director. Even though a DNA test shows that one of the kids is not his, so fucked up. Bill ends up with a $1,500 monthly child support payment, another $1,500 monthly mortgage payment for a house that Kirsten now lives in, as well as losing half of his pension. Bill's life is now ruined because he allowed himself to be a lifeboat. I literally cannot stand women like this, and I'll go into it in just a little bit. So, here are the lessons you need to learn. 1, there is an old rule. If there's any doubt, there is no doubt. If you have a good relationship with a girl and find out of the blue she starts acting cold and flakes on you, she has already cheated on you. 2, don't be a lifeboat. If you get dumped or dump a girl, cut off all contact. Block all social media, don't call her, and ignore any attempts she makes to call you. 3, there is usually a danger zone around 2 to 4 months out where she'll try to check up on you. Ghost her and avoid all contact. If the girl you were dating was a disloyal whore, have some self-respect and leave her in the past. One thing, if the perky illegal says anything to the contrary of this, please ignore her advice. Well, I think you guys will be, I don't know if you'll be surprised or not, but women like Kirsten make all women look bad. And I hate this, and I hate women who are friends with women like this, because you are the company that you keep. And if you have a friend who's a gold digger or is notorious for this kind of activity, you need to distance yourself because you're going to be guilty by association. And not just that, but women like her are going to be jealous if you do find a good relationship and you are happy. They're going to try to poison that by trying to get you to go out or try to make you seem like the life she's living is better and more fun. And it's just, she's just trash. She's just trash. I cannot stand. Like, she got half his pension. Who was the judge? Like, he gave her half his shit. Like, what did she do to earn half of his pension? And then one of his kids isn't his? Are you kidding me? It must be California or a no-fault state, because I know a Texas judge would probably not let this shit fly. So I feel bad for Bill, but at the same time I don't. I know this woman is human garbage, but he ignored the red flags and he ignored the warning signs. Like, you were dating her and you ignored the fact that she obviously had issues that were not related to you, and then you married her. Like, you married her and you had children with her. You know, I mean, you can't empathize or sympathize with stupidity. Like, that was just stupid. Why would you do that? You're obviously a smart person, you know? Like, why would you destroy your life like that? For obviously someone who isn't worth it, has no sense of decency. I mean, you can't give up your core values because, you know, some beautiful lady is giving you attention. Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, be with somebody who has core values and has decency and is loyal and is faithful and has the maturity to communicate with you, hey, this is what I don't like, or, you know, these are the things that I'm seeing, are you like this? And have the maturity to be honest with her. You know, there's far too little emphasis placed on transparency that it's just sad. It's just saddening and it's disgusting and I can't stand any of it. She's fucking trash. Bill, you know, you seem like a great guy, but you got what you deserve if you're going to be marrying pieces of trash like that. Okay? So, Cappy's response. Hi, James. Well, there's no doubt this does happen and has happened, but I suspect it is more of an under 30-something thing women do. I would also say it's very prevalent in college or early 20-somethings when women are playing their games, trying to find the best man possible, but not get locked down with any one guy. And the strategy only makes sense. Women want the most ripped, buff, physically attractive man possible, but at some instinctive level, they know that these chads will split town and thus will also want a provider or a steady Eddie. I doubt most of them consciously contemplate this. Coldly and callously calculating Eddie was an insurance play. But on a subconscious level, some do. I would say most, and thus why they play this game and usually keep a steady Eddie or two in reserve. Besides, when a girl is at her peak beauty, she easily has tons of suitors propositioning her. It only makes sense for her to have a primary and then some reserves. I don't agree with that completely. I know women that are like that, but that's not true of all women. Whether they carry this out to the extent of actually cuckolding a guy is another matter. Okay, there we go. Various studies have it about 3.7% of men have children that aren't theirs. But this extreme level of insurance, getting a pansy provider to rear another man's child, is only about 1 out of 25, which still seems really high. Much more common, so in fact, this is guaranteed to happen nearly every man out there, is a scenario you paint where everything is going swimmingly and then Miss Grumpy shows up and tries to either pick a fight or make it painful to date her. I've rarely had a woman have the courage to just say, I met another guy. Okay, Cappy didn't read his stuff again. So, sorry. I rarely have had a woman have the courage to just up and say, I met another guy, or I don't want to date you anymore. Like asking men out or approaching them, it just takes just as much courage, if not more, to dump them, so instead they make you do it. Their disposition completely changes and for the worse, and you willingly break up with them. They run off with Chad, and if that doesn't work out, come back to you. This behavior is easily identifiable. Oops, sorry. Oh, goodness. Ah! Sorry. Not that you guys are going to care. The test lifeboating you described, where she checks in with you via text, is not terribly common, but common enough. And yes, you are wise to the point that if she abruptly attempts to get back together, just as she abruptly as she left, there's a 99.999% guarantee it was another man that didn't pan out. To deal with this, I would simply hold the policy that if a girl leaves abruptly and for ill-defined reasons, it's another dick. And you don't be a dupe and hold off her while she's getting it from another guy. I totally agree. This is ridiculous. She's not only not marriage material, but good Christ, who wants to deal with that 8th grade drama and antics? I agree. The overall policy I would, whether it's this, where a woman rapidly changes her demeanor, or any other drastic antics, is simply do not tolerate it. As you get older, you'll start to lose energy, patience, not to mention horniness, to the point that you're just not going to be able to put up with this female crap. Whether it's another Chad standing you up, flaking, if you don't know, I'm not telling you, be late. What? Whether it's another Chad standing you up, flaking, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you, being late, or even her treating wait staff poorly, most men will get to the point of demanding simple, basic adult behavior and respect, because a life of peace, serenity, and calm is much better than one of drama and chaos with sporadic banging of hot chicks. If you young men follow this policy, you will have a much easier life and likely add an extra 5 years to your life expectancy. So, all true. I agree with that. That's just complete, like I said, and utter bullshit. Cappy was interested to know what percentage of women I think actually go out and do this, and I don't know if I can put a number on it, just because the girls that I hang out with were at a different professional and emotional tier than some of the teeny boppers like Cappy described, like some of the 20-year-olds. So I don't know if there's a percentage. I think it's probably in the low 10s that like actually go out there and, you know, maliciously knowing what they've done and just kind of go out there and just try to, I call it like sharking, you know, they're almost like they're on the prowl, they're looking for their next victim, and you just got to be smarter than that, guys. I know there's just not a golden pussy. I'm sorry, but there's not any golden pussy that's going to be worth putting up with bullshit like that over. And if you let yourself get used, then you can't just cry about it when you do. I mean, women and men, don't let yourself get used. You know, if you're a decent person and you're good, you should require at the very least the same of the person that you're dating and going to have a marriage and children with. So that's my little rant. I mean, like I said, I could go on and on about this. I think women and men that do that are trash, and they're the reason the divorce rates are so high, and all those, what was that one famous website, Madison something, where it was like this website for cheating, where you can go and meet people and have affairs or something like that. I just can't even fathom that idea. So be honest with yourself, be honest with who your partner is and who they aren't. And like Cappy said, I mean, just have some self-respect and know that if you're good, there's going to be somebody good out there for you. So that's my 2 cents. Sorry. I gotta go somewhere, but I didn't mean to show you guys all my goods. But if you have any other questions, let Cappy know, and we'll talk to you guys soon.